Hi guys. I hope everyone's enjoying their lunch, and thank you again for coming. It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Jonathan Gardner. He is a dedicated self-advocate and motivational speaker who works at both the state and national levels to advance disability rights. A homeschool graduate, cancer survivor, and advocate, he serves as an ambassador for Operation House Call. He is a Flutie Fellow, co-chair of the Massachusetts Supported Decision-Making Coalition. There's more. And he holds key roles with Massachusetts Advocates for Children and the Department of Public Health. Through his personal journey, Jonathan advocates for autonomy, inclusive healthcare, and stronger disability protections. His work has contributed to major legislation, that's a hard word to say, and he has shared his message on Capitol Hill. He reminds us every day that everyone has a voice and has the power to create change. I want to thank Jonathan for being here with his mom Nancy, his dad Glenn, and his great friend Adam. Yay. And with great pleasure, Jonathan, mind coming on up, please. Woo!
Time to go to work.
Thank you. You didn't want that playing the entire time, did you? Well, good. Next slide. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonathan Gardner, and I'm honored to be here today at this Human Rights Luncheon to celebrate not just human rights, but the people who make them real every single day. Cove supports thousands of people across Massachusetts who are people with disabilities, with mental health needs, people in recovery, and people seeking stability and safety. Human rights are at the heart of all of this. And I want to thank you for the work you do to, one second. Just gotta move this right here. There we go, more comfy. For the work you do to protect dignity, safety, and respect for all. I know many of you here today are those people who... Is the mic still good?
Yep.
Okay, maybe I wasn't speaking. I'm just going to try to keep it here. My apologies if it's too loud. And dignity is never forgotten. Please know that your work matters deeply because of people like you, people like me have a chance to be seen, to heal, and to live the lives we choose. I am a 23-year-old state and national advocate, a cancer survivor who happens to have autism. I am the official ambassador for Operation House Call through the ARC of Massachusetts, a Flutie Fellow for the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation for Autism, a co-chair of the Massachusetts Support Decision-Making Coalition, a board member of Mass Advocates for Children, a part of the Human Rights Advocacy Committee for DDS, and a board member of Autism for Advocacy for Massachusetts. Each of these roles give me a voice, but what's more important is that they remind me that everyone deserves a voice. Everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and respected. That's what human rights are, and that's what my story is about. What happens when rights are ignored, and how powerful it can be when they are restored. Next slide. I like to say I happen to have autism because autism does not define me. It's one part of who I am. I believe we are all human beings with different experiences, perspectives, and they'll make the world better. Everyone has worth and value. Autism may influence the way I think, the way I advocate, and the way I connect with others, but it's just a piece of me, like my arm or my leg. It's simply part of who I am. For me, having autism means I sometimes need people to meet me where I'm at. That's what human rights are about. Understanding that equality isn't about treating everyone the same, it's about giving everyone what they need to thrive. Next slide. Even before I was born, my life was about the right to exist. When my mom was pregnant, doctors told her there was no heartbeat and suggested ending the pregnancy. But she trusted her instincts and got a second opinion and found a midwife and found a faint heartbeat. And that heartbeat was me. I'm just going to test something. You guys can hear me if I just talk like this, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to... I was starting to get annoyed by that. And that heartbeat was me. I'm here today because someone chose hope. That's where human rights began, with courage and belief in the value of every life. Next slide. When I was in second grade, things got really hard. My accommodations on my IEP weren't followed. I was bullied for wearing a Sesame Street shirt, something that made me feel happy and safe. My teacher flicked off my hat off my head, even though it was part of my IEP accommodations. I didn't have the words to explain what was happening inside of me. I started hurting myself to try and tell people I needed help. One day, I was so desperate that I tried to jump out of a classroom window. That wasn't a behavioral problem. It was a human rights emergency. Every child deserves the right to safe education and respect for their needs. I know that here in Massachusetts, the Human Rights Office and committees exist to make sure this never happens. But from what I learned is that rights are only real when everyone on the team believes in them, not just when they are written into policy. After that, I was sent to a different school. Oh, right, sorry, next slide. After that, I was sent to a different school that said it would help me, but it didn't. At the time in my life, I was not able to communicate verbally. I didn't have the words to explain what I was feeling or what I needed. So when I cried or became self-interest, it wasn't because I was acting out. It was because I was trying to communicate the only way I knew how. My behaviors were my words. They were my way of saying, please help me. But instead of being understood, I was taken into a small timeout room. I was restrained. My teacher sat on me, and it made made me feel like hot lava burning throughout my body. My mom walked in and saw me being held to the floor, trying to breathe and wishing someone would help me. That's not discipline, that's trauma, and that's a violation of the right to safety, dignity, and humane treatment. Even now, I live with PTSD from that time. No child should ever feel unsafe in a place meant for learning. Next slide. My mom became my teacher and my rock. Homeschooling became my safe place. For the first time, I could learn without fear. We used my interests to learn, and that's when I found my curiosity again. That's what the human rights to education looks like. Learning in an environment that supports who you are. Next slide. I decided I didn't want my story to end with trauma. I wanted it to make a difference. So when I worked with the Disability Law Center and helped pass the Massachusetts Restraints and Seclusion Law, protecting students like me, that was the first time I realized that my voice could create change. And that's when I started to see that my journey had purpose. So, when I was 18, I started having severe leg pain in my leg. For 5 months, doctors ignored me. They said it was just my autism. Even though you can see right there, that is clearly my leg. And dark humor, I enjoy it. But finally, one doctor, after all that time, said she did not know what was wrong, but she'll find out. And she found a tumor. I had Ewing sarcoma, a rare and aggressive bone cancer. Ignoring someone's pain because of a label is not just bad care, it's a human rights violation. Everyone deserves to be believed and included and respected in their health care. Next slide. When I was 16, I started using supported decision making, which is an alternative to guardianship. It means I get to choose people I trust to help me make decisions, but I'm still the decision maker. Now then, back when I was, back to the cancer stuff a little bit, when I was halfway through chemotherapy and radiation, I hit a breaking point. I told my mom, I don't care what happens to me, I just want it to stop. My mom spoke to me as my support person and said, Jonathan, I don't know what the answer is, but if you could put your faith in me, we'll find out. Together with my supporters and medical team, we made a plan that saved my life and protected my mental health. That's what the right to self-determination looks like. Be included in your own decisions, not just having them made for you. When I share this story, I think about your work, because this is what least restrictive alternatives looks like in real life. It's not just a phrase in regulation. It's a way of saying you have a voice and it matters. Sorry. My advocacy has taken me from Massachusetts State House to Capitol Hill. I've spoken at about the Autism Care Act, restrained laws, education, supported decision-making, police training, healthcare discrimination, and sarcoma awareness and research, and really any way I can help someone. Every time I share my story, I think of others who just wanted someone to listen, and I speak alongside them. I raise my voice for those whose voices are too overlooked or misunderstood, including people who communicate in different ways, or whose voices the world hasn't learned how to listen to yet. I use my story to remind the world that every person, no matter how they communicate, move, or express themselves, deserve to be heard, respected, and included. That's how we make human rights real, when we use our voices to change systems that once silenced us.
Yes, sir.
When I turned 22, I thought my transition into adulthood would be simple. I was excited to use self-direction under the Real Lives Law, a program meant to let people with disabilities make a choice about their own lives, like who supports us and how we spend our funding. But instead, I ran into roadblocks. I wanted my mom to be my paid job coach because she understands me best and I trust her. But I was told no. After everything I've been through, trust is not easy for me. And I was being told my choices didn't matter. We had to go through months of meetings and letters just to prove that I knew what was best for my own life. Eventually they said yes, but only after getting to know me as a person, not a checklist. It made me wonder, if someone with a voice and support, struggled this much, what happens to the people who don't? Mm-hmm. The Real Lives Law is about giving people more control over their lives, the right decisions to make choices, to direct their supports, and to live with dignity and respect. That's what self-determination looks like, and it's a human right. Human rights matter to me because I know what it feels like when they are ignored.
when I was restrained, when doctors didn't listen, when my voice wasn't believed, I felt invisible. But I've also seen what happens when people care, when they listen and include and believe in me. That's when human rights become real. To me, human rights are the way we treat others every day, by listening, including and respecting all humans. That's how we show that every life has value. Life's challenges test all of us. For me, it has been autism, cancer, trauma, and the barriers I face in society. But when we share our stories, we connect. Connect creates change. I want to leave you with a quote from the lawyer who helped me find my purpose and is now my friend. When we all work together, the world is a better place. And that's what human rights are about. Working together so that everyone belongs, everyone matters, and every voice is heard. You are the ones who safeguard dignity every day. And I'm reminded of what dignity looks like when it's honored and what happens when it's not. Together, let's make real change, and we got one more slide. Now then, before I close, I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. Every single person in this room is a champion. You may not hear that every day, but the work you do truly changes lives. Not always in big dramatic ways, but in the quiet, steady ways. You listen, you show up, you include, you protect, and you care. You make dignity real. You make safety real. You make human rights real. For people like me and for thousands of others, your work is the difference between being overlooked and being seen, heard, and valued. You help people feel safe. You help people feel seen. You help people feel human. And standing here today, I'm not alone. I have three of my champions right here with me. My mother, my father, and Thank you, my dad needed that ego trip. Who I trust with my whole heart to help me live my best life. They reminded me every day what real support, trust, and dignity looks like. And all of you in this room give that same kind of support to the people you serve. You may not always get thanked, but your impact reaches further than you will ever know. Because of people like you, people who choose compassion and commitment, people like me get the chance to heal, to grow, and to live lives fulfilled with dignity and possibilities. That's what human rights are, working together so that everyone belongs. Everyone matters and every voice is heard. You are the people who ensure dignity isn't just a word, it's a reality. And I stand here as a reminder of what dignity looks like when it's honored and what happens when it's not. Together we make rights real. Together we create we change lives. Thank you for everything you do, for your compassion, your strength, and for giving people like me hope. Thank you for being the people who make human rights real every single day.